Imagine having an AI-powered search engine for candidate profiles from across the open web and even from within your own ATS. Well, that's exactly what HireTool is. HireTool is a global talent platform that serves all recruiters, from small businesses to the world's largest enterprises. And with 750 million plus profiles from over 45 open web sources and channels and 30 plus integration partners, there's literally something for everyone. Recruiters can find more talent with AI sourcing, send unlimited emails, and integrate with your favorite recruitment tools all in one platform. If you're spending hours looking for qualified candidates, underrepresented talent, and updated contact information, then HireTool is probably what you need for your toolkit. HireTool is a platform that helps great recruiters accomplish more every single day. Check them out at hiretool.com.
What up, HR Famous Nation? It is Jessica Lee, and I am here with my friends Tim Sackett and Chris Dunn. And you guys, because we do this podcast, we have a nice little microphone, a special camera, and I was doing a virtual conference recently, and the AV guy, he wanted to know about my equipment. And let me tell you, he was so impressed with my setup, my camera, my microphone. And then I also had to do a speed test, and now we're getting really nerdy. But he was so excited. He was like, wow, you got like an amazing setup. And thanks to you guys. You guys have recommended all my equipment. So look at that. Friends,
what camera are you using, Jay?
Well, I'm not using it right now because I'm on my husband's laptop, but I usually am using now the Logitech Brio.
Yeah,
that's a nice one.
Nice one. No ring light required. How's it going, guys? It's Friday. Chris Dunn, you're all dressed up. You going to the dentist later? What's happening?
He's dressed up to go to the dentist.
I got the dental work done last month. Just time doesn't stop, Jessica. Like we got to chase this. We've got to be hungry. I do it in I've been known to rock a hoodie on Tuesday, but I had calls. That's it.
You had calls.
Client calls. I had client calls. Got to pull on the button up, whatever. You know how it goes.
It would be awesome if you stood up and had like game shorts on, like just some running shorts. You just got like a basketball shorts on in like a button down.
Speaking of like being called out for my Friday attire, I was on a phone call earlier today. It was a Teams call, so we were on video. I really hadn't thought about like what I had on my calendar today, and I had a call with some folks in our legal department, including like our chief legal counsel. I wasn't thinking, I just showed up and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a hoodie on. So I tucked the strings of my hoodie inside my neck, and someone called me on it. They were like, what do you like? There's something coming out of your shirt. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, are those your hoodie strings? And I was like, thanks a lot. Trying to be an executive here today, and you're calling me out for my hoodie strings, at which point I just had to embrace what I was wearing. And you know what? It's Friday. Why do we care? At least it's Friday as we're recording this. I mean,
yeah. And you're at home. It's not like you're in a meeting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's standard like hoodie wear though. That's standard work hoodie wear, what you've got with the white strings. So
well,
I guess it is illegal.
But you know what? Someone else on the legal team did give me some grace, and she said, oh, you're always so elegant, and so we'll forgive you today for wearing your hoodie. No, she said, we know what you're about. Okay, so if I'm to be honest with everyone, including the two of you, you guys like certain things, certain entertainment things or whatever. And then I'm really late and like not on the bandwagon. It was this way with Hamilton. You guys loved it. And I was like, wah, wah, wah. And then I got into it late, which also happened recently. I know you both have been watching Succession on HBO, and little late to the game. I think we were a little busy in our Chun-Li household watching other things, but we started watching Succession, and oh my gosh, we are obsessed in this house. We love Succession, and we're not going to spoil anything for anyone. And so let's just try not to spoil anything, because who knows what episode people are on. But I had this question that was just ruminating in my head that, I don't know, my husband and I can't land on. And so here's what we're going to talk about. Everyone's rotten basically in Succession. I don't know if there are any good people, good characters, good humans. So here's my question. of the siblings who are in succession in the Roy family, and you can include in-laws as well, who is the least worst of the siblings is really the question that I have, is like, who is the least worst? Because I've been thinking about this and I can't decide who's the least worst. And so, there's a lot of options to choose from when you include the in-laws, the spouses or significant others, plus the actual child themselves. Least worst sibling. Tim Sackett, I start with you. Least worst sibling.
I would probably have to go with Connor, even though he's such a leech on on the family, and he really has no. I mean, there's just no skill set there whatsoever besides just being the oldest and being rich.
Does he even have a job? He has no job, right?
No, he's trying to he's trying to be a politician, I think, right? And then just being like a rich guy and investing in stuff that constantly fails and asking dad for more money. And even I think they all look at him like the one, he's like the one kid that they're just kind of like, they all look at him like, oh, why are you even part of this conversation right now? You bring
but the
nothing
one who works the least is the least worst to you?
Well, no, he's in terms of, I guess maybe we have to define what you were trying to get at. Like, to me, he's like the least worst person of all of them because he does nothing, right? He's like a non-factor for the most of it.
But his girlfriend was a call girl? Okay. See, this is so fascinating. It's like on the list of grievances, which grievances are least offensive?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Mr.
Because we could go through all the rest. Shiv has a lot of
so illuminating.
Yeah, Shiv has a lot of positive things at the same time. Like, she hangs out with Tom. Like, that guy's a complete joke,
Oh no. Okay, Chris, least worst of our succession siblings.
So I'm going to pivot and I'm going to say Kendall is the least worst. And
it's just, it just shows that they're all the worst.
Right, because I would normally go with Connor, con heads of the world, unite, right? But I think it's Kendall because he's trying to take action. He's the one that, if he gets the siblings together, tries to unite them. He's also the one that's been used and abused the worst out of any of the siblings. Now, he's got his own faults, sure. But, if you force me to choose, I go with Kendall. And I do think Kendall is the most sympathetic character among the siblings.
Oh my gosh, we all disagree. See,
What's yours, Jay?
Well, so I go back and forth, but I think at the end of the day, the least worst for me is probably Roman. Is it? Yeah, Roman.
You can make a case for any of them. Go. Make a case for Roman.
With Roman, at the end of the day, what I have appreciated about him is that I actually still think he's got his dad's back. He's a little bit of a screw up, right? He's a little deviant. He's a lot deviant. But he's willing to go do the dirty work for his dad. And so while he's been at times swayed to be aligned with his siblings or others, he still has his dad's back. And that level of loyalty for me.
He's no hero. Yeah.
It's a little bit charming, and maybe I'm just a little swayed by the fact that he is, Macaulay Culkin's younger brother in real life. And I just, that had nothing to do with his character. But, I really like that about him. And also, he's probably the shortest amongst the siblings, which maybe isn't much about his character. But there's this underdog quality that, he's a little quirky. And I kind of like that. Might be least worst, most loyal to his dad. That's not
Jay, I told you, I had no idea that Kieran Macaulay was Macaulay Culkin's little brother. I had no idea that was the case. Part of this is because I don't think I love watching the shows and stuff like this, but I'm not I don't really keep up on the celebrity thing. I don't really care about what their real name is. I'm not fascinated by celebrity. I love the characters and I love watching it. And so here's how bad that is. So Schitt's Creek, I love that show as well. And Moira Rose was the mother of Macaulay Culkin.
Yes.
I had no idea. I was like, oh my God, I just saw her. And they said on a TV show and they showed that. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. That was her. People are like, yeah, duh. And I'm like, what? It's this character, this is the actress's name. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Maybe part of it is I did watch Home Alone recently with my kids. I don't know. I just thought maybe that was like appropriate for their age. And now they're asking me questions about like, are there really robbers? Like, what are they coming to take? And it's like hard to explain things now. But they did get a good chuckle out of like setting booby traps up for robbers. And it might be a little bit more fresh for me. Kieran McCulley, her name is not Moira Rose, but we know who we're talking about. You can't unsee it though, right, Chris? Once you realize Kieran is Macaulay's brother, like,
oh God,
clearly.
that's exactly.
Yeah, I was on that from the get go, so I had known it all the way through. So, but I agree with some of your points. The underdog quality kind of jumps out, right? Because he's really not engaged in a lot of tyranny, like in the show.
Yeah.
He is one sick puppy, though. I mean, he's just poor thing. Yes, he's a hot mess. He also needs some therapy. They all need therapy. One thing I observed recently when I was watching Succession that I was actually going to text you guys about, but I just don't want to always bring you into my stream of consciousness, which is the Roy men like a baseball cap. Did you guys notice that? And like, I think it's like some fancy baseball caps that they're often wearing. Like they look like they're fitted and like there's a little.
It's like a wool. Yeah.
There's a nice wool. Like I don't know what it is. So I was actually going to go down a rabbit hole at some point to figure out what caps they're wearing. Speaking of caps, though. I saw something, our favorite media outlet ever, Business Insider. You're welcome, Business Insider. We will send you a bill.
The new Gawker.
The new Gawker. But I saw an article which caught my eye, which I thought was a little funny, about a CEO. We'll leave the company unsaid. But man, the power that comes with being a CEO with 700 staff members who expects everyone to wear caps or baseball hats on Zoom calls as a statement that they're all one team. So everyone's working from home. Everyone apparently shows up with hats for the meeting, and the company saw this as a rally cry that everyone wants to be part of the same team. So like she wears caps in town hall meetings while onboarding new employees during investor calls. Everyone must wear hats. Like doesn't matter what country you're dialing in, from the time zone, the function, the title, the level. Everyone wears hats together as a global organization, and it unifies their team. And, I've talked on the podcast in the past about like forced family fun and like Halloween and things like that. But I gotta ask you, like, I'll go to you first, Mr. Dunn. Like, are we taking it a step too far with caps? Everyone wearing caps? Like, I don't even know what to say. And like, not even just internally, but externally as well. Like, are we taking it too far? Everyone wears caps. Go.
Well, we are not taking it too far, but she obviously was taking it much too far. Like, when you get into kind of that forced, we're all going to dress a certain way, like on a video call, my gut tells me you can get away with that about one out of like 50 like big calls that you have, and the rest of them you can't do that way, because all you do, like, think about the bell curve of life, JLee. You've got 10 to 20% of your folks who are extreme advocates, right? And maybe more if you're at a great company. You have 10% that are wondering like what they're going to do in any company. Sometimes that's just based on who they are, has little to do with the company. And then you've got like the great middle ground. It's a bell curve. And every time you force people like into that every call, you're just forcing the fence setters to like run away from you. I'll give you one more thing. I like to see who's engaged on a big call like that. I like to see who is going to keep the camera on if you don't have a hard cameras on policy, who's going to keep the camera on, who's going to like kind of be making eye contact with the call, or better yet, don't have to have eye contact, is doing affirmational nods when they agree with something. doing some type of body language. By the way, I don't think it's always fake. Thank you, Tim. I saw you doing the affirmational nod like for me. I really feel like my message is resonating here, by the way, as I look at JLee and Tim. But I want to know like who's engaged. Like I don't want to create an artificial environment. I like every once in a while we'll do something hokey like that. That's fine. But otherwise, I want to read the tea leaves a little bit. I want to read the tea leaves and put it in the big calculator upstairs with who's in and who's out, Jessica.
Who's in, who's out? You know,
I assume that she looks really good in caps is my thing. Like, I mean, because otherwise, how many females are going to say you have to wear a cap every single time and you look like a schmuck? She wouldn't do it.
JLee, when you hesitate, remember Tim is saying she thinks she looks good. Or she's comfortable in a cap.
Yeah.
The other piece, I do think digital culture is really, really hard, and signs and symbols are a big part of culture. And so I'm not necessarily like totally against this. I think sometimes you could be known as like company that, hey, we wear hats in meetings. Like, I don't know. It sounds stupid to us, but like if it works for your culture, great. I just don't think I think it's hard to sustain.
Tim, do you think that works though? Like now come in, like you made the statement. I get your statement, but does it work anywhere? Come on now.
No, I'm trying to like, so like, I do think there's certain companies like that are swag driven, like hoodies or like the Patagonia vests where like people are wearing, like, I do think there's certain things that do. Now, I mean, she chose a cap, right? Like everybody I don't think is going to be into a cap, but maybe it's more of, hey, is there certain things we can do where maybe it's just like logo wear, like, hey, you need to be wearing something that's logo all the time and the company's going to give it to you. I don't know. Like when I was at Applebee's, Katie loves when I talk about Applebee's, like they were big on the logo stuff. Like they wanted constantly, you want to hear more. Give me more.
What is logo stuff though? Like
sweatshirts, jackets,
like
hats.
Applebee's logo or?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like they constantly were
like,
giving out logo gear.
I don't know.
I'm like, you're supposed to show up with the shirt that has like a polo logo. Like what logo is it? Oh, okay.
It could have been a polo shirt with an Applebee's logo.
With an Applebee's logo. I mean, it does make me wonder, like, how far. Like, if this is a cultural norm, it's not a requirement. Like, if you choose to opt out of wearing a hat, like, then you're basically saying, like, I don't want to belong. So then you're forcing people to wear a hat. And so it's basically becoming like a requirement. But then are you like giving people a hat allowance? Like, what's the deal here? Like, this is so part of the thread of our hat. We're going to send you like 3 branded hats and you get to pick between them, or you got to pick your own hat. And also, like, I like hats some days, a lot of days actually, but like some days I want to wear like a little fedora, or got a new Kangol to go with my Halloween costume, which I'm going to wear outside of Halloween. Or like in the fall, I like a hat with like a brim. It's like nice and like it's a good look when I'm going to the apple orchard. And so I don't know. I just feel like it's a little constricting to say like, it's a cap, guys. It's a cap.
Yeah.
Again, I'm fine to say that once a month we're doing something hokey. Or whatever it is. Like once a week, whatever. If we're meeting a lot, I'm fine with the themes. To Tim's point, digital culture is hard. You know what else is hard? Not driving people away from your company with gimmicks. Actually, it's not that hard. You just don't do a lot of gimmicks and you win.
Hey, I'm Katie Van Horn. And I'm Jackie Clayton. We're your hosts of the Inclusive AF podcast, where we take on DEI, leadership, and HR without all the corporate fluff. That's right. We've got decades of experience, a lot of opinions, and zero tolerance for performative anything. Every week, we dig into what it really takes to build inclusive workplaces with honesty, strategy, and a few side eyes. We'll talk about the tough stuff, power dynamics, privilege, what's broken in the system, and how we can all do better. And don't worry, it's not all heavy. We bring receipts, laughs, and real talk from people actually doing the work. Think of it as your weekly dose of truth, tips, and a little tea to help you lead with intention and show up for your people. So if you're ready to push past the buzzwords and get into the actual work of inclusion, you're in the right place. So subscribe to the Inclusive AF podcast. New episodes drop every week. Catch us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be here breaking it down one inclusive convo at a time.
Katie, what about her as like, hey, that's her kind of leadership style that she's going to wear a cap every time. You don't have to, but she's going to, and she gets
That's
recognized
cool.
for that.
Perfect. Because that's like individual brand. And by the way,
that's Steve Jobs wearing jeans and a black like mock, right?
And isn't a big part of digital culture, like whoever wants to wear a hat can wear a hat because we're working from home. We're going to be comfortable and we're going to let you be you. And if KD wants to have the spread collar blue shirt on a Friday, we're going to embrace that. Like, we're not going to embarrass him. We're not going to bring it up on multiple podcasts. And
by the way, you know what's like the sad irony here? I'm just realizing that I myself am a perpetrator of this. I just put a hat on. The folks at home can't see this, but this hat I'm wearing, I had a team outing recently, and I bought everyone this hat, and like everyone got the gift of this exact baseball cap.
And you made them wear it, take a picture?
Well, they didn't have to wear it, but I literally have a picture of like 10 of us wearing this same hat. For those, because you can't see us, it's a camo cap with a W for the Washington Nationals, but it was the Nats versus Phillies, and like those of us who are rooting for the Nats, I don't really care, but I got us the W one, and the Phillies people got the camo hat with the P on it, and I am just as bad as this woman, which is like the sad truth that I'm not even realizing. But in our text thread,
Jessica, you're not, because
no, it was compulsory. I told them, put the hat on. No, I did. I said, we're all wearing this hat together and taking a picture.
Yeah, but one time. Not every meeting.
You know what? I'm going to crash their next team, this next meeting. I'm going to say, like, where's your caps, people? Like, put the hat on. Like, let's go. But
are you on my team or not?
Are you on the team or are you not? So the joke that you made, Tim, when I sent this article about the hats is like the idea of team tattoos. So I was going to tell you guys like a quick story. There's this company that I occasionally do work with, a vendor partner, and they have like a really like strong startup culture. And their two founders made the offer to their employees at one point where they said, like, anyone who wants to get a tattoo of our logo when we're in Vegas for this meeting, they're like, we're paying for it. Like, you can do it. So like a good handful of people got like the logo. They got like a simplified version of like the logo. So it could like pass as something else. But I know some of the people who have since left that company. And sometimes I just think about like, you still have a tattoo of that company on your arm. Like, isn't that crazy that these people, but they bought into it. They're like, I'm getting the tattoo. And now years later, they still have the tattoo on their arm. Like, my goodness, people.
And then the company 3 years later just changed the logo, like new branding.
We rebranded ourselves.
Hey, JLee, do you want an HR tie-in to the tattoo?
Yes, please.
And I didn't know this. I read this last week that when it comes to religious exemptions for vaccine mandates, one of the questions people ask, like related to you not doing things to your body, is, do you have tattoos? So those people, they were in Vegas and they did it. And next thing you know, they have to get a religious exemption. It's funny how that works.
Yes. I mean, just so that folks are tracking on this, though, like part of what people have tried to do as a religious exemption, and I'm not going to judge if people are pursuing it, is the concept of my body as a vessel. There's a specific biblical verse and maybe multiple verses that reference concept of my body as a vessel. And if you believe your body is a vessel and you have tattooed yourself like I have, I mean, it's a little bit contradictory unless you've been born again and baptized at the age of, 40 and have decided, since then your body is a vessel. So that's the root of that tattoo question, though. Is your body a vessel?
I totally agree. I'm glad you explained it. And by the way, there's a bunch of questions like that that's basically designed, I believe. And by the way, I think there are probably some legitimate religious exemptions, but basically the way it was written and the way it was covered is, hey, this is a list of 10 questions just to flick the religious exemption request off of the company and decline it. I can't remember what some of the rest of them were. Do you drink caffeine? Right.
Yeah.
All of these body as a vessel, like types of things. Do you eat processed food? That was actually one of the questions. It's like, I live in I live on Earth in 2021.
It is like virtually impossible to not eat processed foods. Let me tell you, it is impossible. Love it. Well, you know what? Sometimes hats, other things to get the team pulled together. I mean, I'm all for it. And now I'm just second guessing why I even brought this topic up when it's just, I'm a hypocrite and I've forced hats and other things.
But you're not for it every day.
You don't know
Are you,
that.
Jessica?
I don't know. Actually, the reason why I put this hat on is because I did get on a call with someone on my team this morning, and she was wearing her hat. I was like, oh, let me go get my hat too. I want to be twins with you. And so, no, I'm not forcing them to. And it's a good hat. Like, you guys can agree. This is like a nice hat. I mean,
don't you call that the dad hat, Katie?
Is it? Why is this a dad hat?
Super dad hat, curved bill.
Curved bill.
I like. By the way, I like the curved bill.
I like the curved bill. You think that's a dad hat move? You think I should do flat bill?
No, it's the dad hat. It's the dad hat. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm a little bit more of I'm not a snapback guy, but I like a flex band, kind of less dad curvature, closer to the flat. Tim hates that about me. He doesn't support my hat.
Katie, I don't. There's nothing about you I hate. I think we've covered this in other podcasts.
Magical.
You guys love each other so much. One of you loves the other more than the other.
Hey, JLee, I will tell you this though. Rather than forcing people to wear branded stuff, the magic really happens when you give branded stuff and then somebody shows up on a call with any of your branded stuff on. That's magic.
True. Yes, that is magical. I love that magic. Okay, so last topic for the podcast today. I'm actually just asking this and bringing this in as a topic just purely to educate myself. I have like no agenda. I don't have a point of view. It's just something that I have like heard out there as like a point of conversation. And I think both of you as more seasoned, wise HR people than I am, also being business owners, probably have some interesting point of view. And so here's what has happened. Like I've had a few friends make mention to me recently about like, man, like we're going through open enrollment right now. And like the cost of healthcare, like the rates are higher. And like people have been complaining about it. And I'm not a benefits pro. I did benefits work a long time ago, but it's been a while. And I know that I've also heard from companies or people in the benefit space of like rates are going up. And so one of the things that I've mentioned to like friends that as they've said it, I'm like, no, it's not just your company, like everyone's rates are going up. And I don't know that people are realizing. I think some people are like, why are my rates going up? What's going on? And so I was curious, just like, what is the messaging that companies or you guys or others are using at the moment to like help people understand why rates are going? Because it's not just like your company, like a single company is, something I was saying to a friend. I'm like, I think everyone's rates are going up, but like, I don't know why. And I guess I also wonder, so let's start there. Like, what are you guys hearing and seeing about like the cause of it? And like, what are you saying to your employee populations around like why the rates are going up? Because I don't even know. And like we're on my husband's insurance and I'm actually not even sure if our rates have gone up, but like it's happening. So why? What's happening?
Yeah, Katie, I'll start. Like we had to go through the process, and our vendor was Aetna, came back and said, hey, we're going to increase your rates 34% this year.
34%.
And we're like, what?
30% is what, like I've heard friends saying, like my rates have gone up by 30%. So
yeah. So we had to go shop it out, and we went back to the Blues for like literally like a 4% increase, right? Which it's kind of the game. Like you go to somebody else and they get you in good, and then the next year they'll jack you up or whatever. But I mean, you had to play it, and we took a look at utilization year over year for the last couple of years. And really utilization overall is not, I mean, during the pandemic was super low. And so the ratios are good. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, why is this thing going up? And there's not a good, I mean, again, we had to say, it's COVID, right? It's pandemic and, all these people, hospital stays, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, Jay, like that's not that could be part of it, but there's not like these insurance companies, it looks like a cash grab. That's the only way I can look at it is because when you take a look at our utilization and you take a look at your ratios and you go, there's no possible way this should be a 34% increase. and then you look at the year prior and it was even lower, and you're like, there's no possible way this should be a 34% increase. And the only thing you can think is somehow they feel like between what the government's going to pay, what they're going to be charged from hospitals because of all the COVID stuff, they believe there's going to be a shortfall, or they already know there is. And so they're going, hey, we got to get our money now. And they're going after it. Katie, that's my impression based on the research and everything we've done. I don't know what you guys seen, but I know you guys looked at an increase as well.
What did you guys see?
So I thought for sure that's what was going to happen. As luck would have it, like even in the last week, I'm being told that we're going to be flat with the same provider. Now, a couple of thoughts about that. Everything that Tim described in our eyes is right, because people or insurance companies, especially in the SMB space, probably like think 1,000 and down in terms of total number of employees. They will grab you with an introductory rate, and then almost always it's a double-digit increase, usually 20% or more in the SMB space. So I think they're trying to do a market share grab first year, and then they're trying to hold on to as big a percentage as they have. But you do, JLee, have a little bit of difference between self-insured and fully insured. Self-insured, you pay all your own bills as a company. Mostly big companies do that with catastrophic kind of stopgap. And then fully insured is premiums, right? Where it's a set cost. We did, maybe 2 years ago, we did a tweener thing where we are fully insured. I'm sorry, self-insured. We pay our own bills up until through the first 25,000 per employee. So that's probably given us, that's kind of a design thing that we did to try it in 1 year to get our rates down or even, and then that's helped us. So, but Tim's right. You're right. They're up everywhere. And what can you do from a communication perspective, JLee? May I suggest a high team, as you may know, and then fill in the blank. Fill in the blank with the trends, right? That's what it comes down to.
So like Tim, in your example, like you guys went and shopped around and were able to get on with another provider where the rate increase would be lower. But like, obviously people they're going to know you're changing providers because they're going to have to pick amongst the new
and we've told them basically.
Is that part of the messaging though? Like the reason why we've switched is because we want to keep it favorable for you. And so.
Yeah. And also, I mean, like, and we don't like, it's part of it too, is like, people are still kind of brand conscious with health insurance. They believe that Blue Cross Blue Shield is the Cadillac.
They love the blues.
They love the blues.
But the problem, so we were with Aetna the last 2 years, and shout out to Aetna. Like we thought they were great. Like we had no issue. But same doctors as Blues. The customer service was excellent. One of the problems I always had with the Blues was they constantly would come back with your service benefit, like acknowledgement, whatever. And it was always wrong. It was always like, oh yeah, hey, you got to pay $300 for this doctor visit. And we're like, wait a minute, this was a well visit. Why the hell am I paying $300? And then somebody in the office would push back, and they'd go, oh yeah, we made a mistake. But they almost always try to get you to pay.
It's brutal. It's bad.
and then like if you push back and you're smart enough and you know something, you don't pay and you push back, and they'll go, oh yeah, but we're sorry, that's 100% paid for. And you're like, what? Like you were gonna make me pay $300 and then take it and never say it, never give it back,
Claims administration.
Yeah. So I think the whole blue, and maybe at one time, decades ago, the Blues were like a Cadillac brand. It isn't anymore. Whether you're going with United or Aetna or Blues, they're all exactly the same. There's no difference. It's just how they're just administrators is all they do. The doctors and the providers are the ones that provide the service and the quality. And for the most part, they're all on the same network. So there's no difference from those. Once in a while, you'll find somebody that, that hasn't gotten on or, didn't get great favorable rates. And so they get off. But for the most part, it's hard to find those kinds of folks that aren't covered from that standpoint. So, the communication will be, hey, we're trying to continue great quality healthcare at a reasonable price because of, pandemic and, all the costs associated. We had to make a change. And unfortunately, you can't really give them 100% of the truth, which is there's some BS going on in the world, and probably it's part government related, and probably it's part insurance related, and probably it's part hospital related, and all that together is we have a broken healthcare system, and they're going to get their money.
Are companies still like anchoring messaging in like, we cover 70% or 80% or whatever the percent is? And is that like part of the story that needs to be told? Because I actually don't know that everyone always realizes the full cost and how much the company covers. And some of these things get lost is the thing that I'm like struggling with. And how do you make sure the average person gets this stuff?
Jessica, you used to message that way, but part of the problem is you have like different levers you can pull. So if you message hard on what you just described, hey, so we're committed to paying X percent, co-insurance, deductibles, all of those are levers where you have to make a decision. If your cost is increasing, like with the same coverage, then you have a bunch of different levers with deductible, both individual and family. You've got co-insurance deductibles where you can tweak coverage down to keep the cost the same. So you have to be really careful about planting a flag in the sand about a certain coverage level, because you may opt to say, hey, just on the optics, because it's the easy optics are, what do I pay?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
out of pocket.
I think the levers that we've seen over the last few years are more around healthy lifestyle stuff. Like, hey, if you do the right things, we're going to make it super inexpensive for those services, right? Like if you're getting your baby well visits and your vaccinations and you're using generic meds, like all of those things that are going to help save costs, cut costs down, but also live a healthy lifestyle. Those things should be easy for you and inexpensive for you to do a part of, because it's going to lead to hopefully lower overall healthcare costs. And you kind of stay away from the overall expense of it all, which is, it's all so crazy and big anyways,
I'm the worst consumer because you bring up generic meds, and being married to a person who was, has got a PharmD. He's like, the generic is the same. Just get the generic. And I'm like, no, I don't want the generic. I want the brand name drug. And I don't care if it is over the counter or not. Like, I want Pepsid AC, not some Safeway brand like thing.
It's exactly the same pill. It comes out of the same machine.
I want like Tylenol brand Tylenol, not acetaminophen. Like, I want the brand name. And like when I have to get a prescription filled, they give me some generic. I'm like, what is this? I don't want this. Like, give me the brand name stuff, which is, I'm just part of the problem. And also, speaking of the brand name, to your point, people love the blues, like, because we're on federal health insurances. My husband is a federal government employee. Like, he's like, we're on a GIHA plan. I'm like, what's GIHA? I've never heard of GIHA, Government Employees Health. I'm like, what is it? But it's actually GIHA by United, GIHA by whatever. But I had this visceral reaction the first time I went onto his health insurance. Like, what's GIHA? Like, where's like the Blue Cross Blue Shield? Give me the good stuff. And I'm just a sucker is what it tells you, where like, I'm just making the problem worse. GIHA, acetaminophen. I want the brand name stuff, people. Give me the good stuff. That's awesome. What I deserve. Making America's problems worse with health insurance. Not good. Well, you know what? This is actually the value of having HR friends, is that I don't have to go read anything. I can just text or ask you guys to help understand something a little bit better. So I appreciate it very much so, just getting some additional perspective rather than having to do all the thinking for myself. So thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Open enrollment time. It's open enrollment time. I got to go open the envelope that came to my house to remind me that it's open enrollment, even though I probably won't pick anything from Marion. I'll just keep on that GIHA and other stuff with my husband. He's also all over, Chris, you're going to like this. He's all over, I think it's like the high deductible plan and like the thing where it goes high deductible plus health savings account or something like that. And he's like, when we're really old, we're going to have all this money that we're going to be able to spend for the things because of blah, 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 blah. So who knows? I don't really know what he's talking about.
Bobby's good at that type of stuff.
Yep.
Someone has to be.
Let him manage the money. He does a good job.
It's somewhere in the Bogle playbook.
Yes, he does. Definitely got that from the Bogle forums. Yes, that is true. Well, that's another episode of HR Famous, guys. It's been lovely talking everything from hats, brand name drugs to everything in between. And, still going to stand by Roman probably being the least worst of the Roy children in our favorite show, Succession. Can't wait to see what else happens in season 3. Here we are, loving every episode. But for my friends Tim Sackett and Chris Dunn, I'm Jessica Lee. That's HR Famous. We are out.